Let's just dive right into this, shall we? Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. We're about to embark on a seriously fascinating journey, decoding the human body. But we aren't just going to look at it through one single lens. No, we're looking at how two totally distinct, incredibly powerful systems, modern medicine and traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, view the exact same human life. The big mission today? Understanding how these systems actually don't compete with each other. Instead, they completely fill out our understanding of what it really means to be alive and well.
So, right off the bat, I want to throw a fundamental question your way, one that kind of challenges our everyday assumptions. What does it actually mean to be healthy? Today, we're basically conditioned to wait for that annual checkup, get our blood drawn, and just hunt for that little green check mark next to a number. But is health literally just a normal number on a lab test? Or is it something way deeper, a dynamic, constantly changing state of balance that a single snapshot just can't fully capture?
That question really gets to the core difference in how we look at health. Think about a static lab report. Now, it's incredibly valuable, don't get me wrong, but it is totally frozen in time. It tells you exactly what your blood looked like at, say, 9 o'clock a.m. on a Tuesday. But then, think about the dynamic, living person. Your body temperature goes up and down all day. Your heart rate spikes when you run to catch a bus, and it drops when you sleep. Your digestion adapts to every single thing you eat. You are constantly responding to stress, sleep, your whole environment. Health isn't just the absence of change. It's your body's ability to constantly adjust to all these changes and find its way back to center.
Section 1. Microscope versus telescope. Two views of human life.
To really grasp the living, dynamic person, we've got to have the right tools. And this brings us to an absolutely brilliant metaphor for how modern medicine and TCM look at the exact same body from entirely different, yet completely valid perspectives. Think of modern medicine as this highly advanced microscope. It is phenomenal at localization. It asks, okay, where exactly is the disease? Is it this specific organ, this one cell, this exact metabolic pathway? It zeroes in on the structural lesion to target it. TCM, on the flip side, acts way more like a telescope. It zooms out to observe the entire landscape over time. It asks, where is this whole life heading? What's the overall momentum? How are all these different systems interacting with each other? I mean, you wouldn't use a microscope to look at the stars, right? And you wouldn't use a telescope to look at a single cell. You need both if you want to see the whole universe of the human body.
Section 2. Decoding life signals and reading those everyday signs. So if TCM isn't relying on a microscope to find a localized lesion, how does it actually evaluate the body? How do you read the signs of a dynamic living system? Well, it does it by decoding life's everyday signals. TCM breaks this whole evaluation down into 4 incredibly practical pillars. First up is the root. And this isn't some abstract concept, it's your absolute most basic life functions. Can you eat? Can you sleep? Can you digest? If those are intact, your life force has a really strong foundation. The second pillar is momentum. Are you getting a tiny bit more tired every single day, or a little stronger? It's tracking the literal direction of your health. Third is order. Basically, are your internal systems playing nicely together? Does your body know when it's time to be awake and when it's time to rest? And finally, response. When you get stressed out, or catch a cold, or get exhausted, how quickly can your body bounce back? Put them all together, and these pillars measure your body's innate ability to keep its own natural rhythm.
Section 3. The thyroid trajectories. Let's track some energetic paths.
Okay, let's make all this abstract philosophy super concrete. We're going to apply these 4 pillars to one specific organ, the thyroid. We're going to look at how this single little gland can go down entirely different energetic paths, or trajectories, when the body's natural order gets messed up. Let's trace the very first trajectory, a benign thyroid nodule. Now, modern medicine spots a lump on an ultrasound. Pretty straightforward. But TCM? TCM looks at the timeline that actually led there. And that often starts with emotional stagnation, unresolved stress, frustration that essentially acts as a roadblock for the smooth flow of energy. Over time, that blocked energy starts affecting the body's fluids, leading to what TCM calls phlegm accumulation. Eventually, this invisible functional blockage solidifies into a visible physical structure, the nodule itself. So it's not just a random lump, it is the physical end result of a really long-standing energetic traffic jam.
Now contrast that with hyperthyroidism. This is an energetic trajectory moving upward, outward, and way too fast.
The heart rate spikes, the body sweats, anxiety just surges, the metabolism is absolutely racing. The body is locked into this state of constant, scattered hyperactivity. It is literally exactly like a lamp that has been turned up way too bright, just rapidly burning through all its oil. It's a massive, rapid depletion of the body's vital reserves. The energy is just flying outwards, and it simply cannot be contained.
But then we look at hypothyroidism. And this is an energetic trajectory that is moving downward, it is moving inward, and it is just too slow. The person feels incredibly heavy, deeply fatigued, and just constantly cold. The metabolism slows to a crawl. It's the exact opposite of what we just talked about. The body is essentially forcing itself into a projective low-power mode, all because the internal fire, that essential warmth needed to push the body's functions forward, has critically faded out.
And then we encounter our fourth trajectory, thyroid cancer. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that this is the moment where functional imbalance has officially crossed a line. It has become a clearly defined, dangerous structural disease. When a distinct structural threat, like a malignant tumor, actually forms, that telescope, it has to be put down. The modern medical microscope must take the lead. At this stage, you absolutely need precise pathology, surgical intervention, and targeted treatments to go in and physically remove the danger.
And this really perfectly illustrates the dual perspectives we've been talking about. Look at a nodule. The Western focus is assessing structural risk, while TCM addresses the energetic stagnation. For hyperthyroidism, Western medicine targets the hormone excess, while TCM sees an upward, fast energy burn. And for hypothyroidism, Western medicine is going to replace a hormone deficit, while TCM is going to work to reverse a downward, slow energy slump. One system brilliantly targets a specific lesion or chemical, and the other guides the overall energetic direction.
Section 4. Complementary systems, not competing.
Which brings us to such a vital realization in this explainer. These two systems are entirely complementary. They are not competing. They're not fighting some sort of turf war over your body. They're simply two different tools designed for completely different stages of your health journey. Let's break down the logic of this integration. When you have an acute structural crisis, say a tumor or a severe infection, you absolutely must use the modern medicine microscope to remove the threat. But once the surgery is over, who helps you recover? That is exactly when you pick up the TCM telescope to restore your root, your sleep, your appetite, and your energy. And what about in the pre-disease state, when you just feel off but all your labs are totally normal? Well, you use both. You observe the signals and correct your life's trajectory before a structural disease ever gets the chance to form.
Section 5. The ultimate goal, guiding the trajectory. Ultimately, the grand goal of all medicine shouldn't just be aggressively fighting fires once the house is already burning down. The highest goal is identifying when a life is veering off track long before a localized structural disease ever takes root. In TCM, there's a foundational concept for this called Wei Bing, which translates to treating the disease before it arises. It is all about paying attention to everyday signals: poor sleep, chronic fatigue, mild digestive issues, maybe a sudden intolerance to cold. These aren't just random annoying things. They are your body's absolute earliest functional signals, practically begging you to adjust your life's trajectory before those functional blocks turn into structural realities.
There is this incredibly profound quote from the ancient medical texts that just captures this perfectly. Waiting for a disease to form before treating it is like waiting until you are thirsty to dig a well. Wow. Think about it. By the time you are thirsty, you are already in a crisis. True integrated health is about digging the well while you are still strong, by reading the subtle signs your body is giving you every single day.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. When it comes to your own health, are you just waiting around to treat a lesion, or are you actively guiding your life's trajectory? By combining the precise microscope of modern medicine with the wide-angle telescope of TCM, you don't actually have to choose between treating the disease and treating the whole person. You can, and honestly you should, do both. Thank you so much for joining me to decode this incredible source material. Keep learning, keep observing those signals, and I will catch you in the next explainer.